Good morning, everybody. We are trying to conduct project-based learning. The name of project is Organic Fertilizers, and the project subject is biology. And of course, it is related to other subject matters such as mathematics, chemistry, English, and also IT. And the objective of this plan is to enable the students to make their own organic fertilizers from dry leaves and also explain the benefits for the better environment, especially to the land. The project idea will be done as follows. The students will gather information from many different angles such as professionals and compile the information to find out way to produce organic fertilizers from the leaves around the school and also do some investigation to test the effect of using fertilizers in the soil. Students then collaborate in creating newscast video to help the community understand how to process the dry leaves to become fertilizers. This can be one of the ways to save the land from the garbage and also pollutants due to non-organic fertilizers. There are some driving questions. What is organic fertilizer and how to make it from the leaves? What is the ingredient and composition in making organic fertilizers? How does the biological or chemical process actually happen when the leaves become fertilizers? And then what do what do chemical substances contain in the organic fertilizer? What is the effect of using fertilizers on the land? And the last question, which one is better, using organic fertilizer or unorganic fertilizers? The content is standard to be taught and assessed, and of course, as the basis for understanding this project, students know decomposers and their function, chemical substances and chemical reaction happened in the soil, and the characteristics of good and damaged soils. There are some skills to be taught and assessed. The first is critical thinking, communication and oral presentation, collaboration, and technology literacy. And of course, the major product will be presented to the audience, whether it is in class or to the community. How to know the success of this plan? Of course, there is assessment. There are two types of assessment versus formative assessment. It is in the form of journal and the preliminary plans. And the summative assessment will be in the form of peer evaluation, self-evaluation, and written products with a rubric. There is also reflection to look back on the content and the process. And in this case, the students have to make a discussion with the whole class, and they will invite open-ended questions. This plan will be conducted within 13 weeks, and what the students have to do in each week, let's discuss what they have to do in the first week. In the first week, the students will be introduced the projects. In this case, they have to collect the leaves from the school environment, and then there will be copies of the project and discuss them with the class. It can be assigned to the students whether it is in groups or they have to make their own groups. And we allow time for the students to discuss the different jobs and which roles they would like to assume. And then the students will write out and hand in the description what things they will do in conducting the project and who will do each role. They will also explain where and when the research will take place. It can be done at home or a class depending on the situation. And of course, on Edmodo, they have to create the new CAS groups and professional groups and invite the students to join both their groups. And the second week, we have the students meet with others who are doing the same role from the other groups, their professional groups, and their job is to come up with a list of questions that will be answered in the role they have chosen. Have some questions ready to help each group get started and brainstorm as a class about what questions they have about organic fertilizers. As a group, they should develop about 4 to 6 questions, and the questions must not be in yes or no questions. This will form the basis of their research. And of course, you must be sure to check questions before starting research. And students will compile a list of questions to be researched and post on Edmodo for teachers' review. In the following week, students will individually add information to these questions, which they will then store in their backpack on Edmodo, depending on the students. It is sometimes necessary to add to the research questions. And what they have to do in the third week are as follows. Students collect the information from the experts or search in the internet about questions they had prepared before. Students will work in their professional groups to discover and share sources of information. These sources should be added to the professional group site as well as individual backpacks. Students should post weekly updates on the information they are gathering as well as any new questions, revisions, or help they may need. Class time can be used to continue research, share ideas, or work on individual presentation as needed. At the end of this time, students should start to prepare all needed to make organic fertilizers. In the 4th and 8th weeks, during this week, students will return to their new CAS groups and start processing leaves and other ingredients into organic fertilizers. From this section, they should start developing a daily or weekly log or storyboard. This should be including factual information as well as photographs, drawings, and diagrams. In order to be successful in making fertilizers, students could do some consultation to the experts. At the end of this time, fertilizers should be ready to be tested. Hence, students should prepare the plan to conduct an experiment to test the fertilizers. At the end of this phase, each group should identify the most important and relevant knowledge that they have learned. They should develop a quiz of 10 questions that they will give to the members in other groups. And the quiz and the answers should be submitted to the teacher via Edmodo by posting in their professional groups page only. And next, in the 9th and the 11th weeks, students conduct the experiment to test the effects of using organic fertilizers in the soils. Students note the growth of the plants, whether it uses fertilizers, whether it is organic and unorganic. Students analyze and compare the plus and minus of using fertilizers. And at the end of the 9 to 11 weeks, students keep posting every progress of their project on that module for teachers' review. And in the 12th week, students will need to decide the order of presentation and logistics planning and finishing the project. Through PowerPoint presentation, or it can be through newscast video. Through PowerPoint presentation, they should cover all the projects, and the students should have storyboard of their slides as well as the written script to accompany their projects. And then through newscast video, students should have storyboard of their part as well as written script to accompany their projects. And videos can be filmed separately, then combined using Flipshare, iMovie, or other software. And of course, students should rehearse of minimum of 5 minutes. Requests can be given at this point by using students' generated questions as well as any added by the teacher. If more information is required, all groups members should participate in the research, and projects should be posted on Edmodo, and review is needed before sharing with the class. And in the last week, it is in the 13th week, it is also called show time. Each group should present their final product. If you want, you can provide a peer-reviewed form or rubric and have students evaluate the other group's projects. Another idea is to have students provide feedback on their classmates on Edmodo. And of course, parents can also access this site to see what their students have created. Happy working! Lupa.